Hey freaks, it's JJ. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be doing a comic book review on Kill Audio. So, I seriously just finished reading this and it's insane because I just loved it so much. So I've read Claudio and Chondra's other graphic novels such as Key of Z and Translucid, but this one just hit me on a whole nother level. And I know I'm like way late to the party on this. This was released in like 2010, and I'm just now reading it. So I don't know. It's just so fantastic that I wanted to gush about it with you guys. So join me in talking about this. First of all, if you haven't read it, I highly suggest that you do because it's just great. I don't even know where to begin with this because it's such a strange, weird graphic novel, but it is probably one of the most enjoyable graphic novels that I have ever read. So, where to start? I guess I should just tell you guys a little bit about it. It's called Kill Audio by Claudio Sanchez, Chondra, Echert, and with art by Mr. Sheldon. So, how would I describe this? I guess the best way I could describe this book is like if you were to combine Aqua Teen Hunger Force and Sin City with like a satirical commentary on like music genres. Like that's what this is. Super weird, but just really cool at the same time. So let me just read you like that. There's a little intro written by Richard Starkings, and it just captures this whole book so perfectly. I feel like I need to read it to you guys for anyone who hasn't experienced this graphic novel because it's so accurate. And just hold on. Okay. To find the way, you gotta play. Close your eyes. Imagine the worst. Art is dead. Music is dead. There's nothing to laugh about. Nothing to cry about. Nothing to enjoy. The world is broken, void of creativity. Everything that was once flamboyant now seems ordinary. The empire has no clothes. But there are still whole other worlds inside your head. Think about them for a moment. Every dark fantasy, every bright daydream, every grim nightmare you've had. It's time to gouge them from your imagination. Make music having never heard any music. Draw pictures having never seen a drawing. Write that stuff down. Draw it on the back of a napkin. You have no frame of reference because frame of reference has been thrown on the bonfire, where it belongs. There are no franchises other than the ones locked up inside the meat locker inside your head. Walt Disney is dead, the Star Wars is over, James Bond's license has been revoked, and somebody squished Spider-Man. What took so long? Because in the worlds inside your head, you cannot die. When you create something new, you live forever, or at least until the next guy turns his imagination inside out and makes your world look like Wonder Bread. This comic made my brain hurt, but art is supposed to do that. It's supposed to stir your loins, not just tickle your fancy. It has to be the chic mala in a world of homely girls. It has to be beautiful and dangerous. Claudio Sanchez, Chondra Echert, and Sheldon have thrown us a bone here. They're good people, sweethearts really. But this book is not for the nervous. This book does not play it safe. This book has not been sanitized for your protection. It will scrape the dark matter out of the darkest recess of your brain and force feed it back to you. It's so high concept, it's lowbrow. It's the mighty Boosh leaving it for Beaver on the yellow brick road. If your sense of propriety is offended by Kill Audio, you'd better petition for someone to keep Sanchez, Echert, and Mr. Sheldon far apart. You may need whole continents, oceans between them, planets maybe, because Kill Audio offers you no context, no pat explanations, no rigid laws of right or wrong, no up and down or sense of gravity. Kill Audio offers us a world that is part Chuck Jones porn, part Black Flag Guitar Hero, and part jazz-flavored Pringles. It's like a shot of bourbon up the nose out of a spray can. It's like broken bloody nails on a chalkboard. It's black and white and red all over. Drink lots of water. Dig it. Richard Starkings. You can now open your eyes. Like, what? Exactly, though. Like, exactly. That's what this book is exactly. So like, I don't know, if that doesn't make you want to read this graphic novel, I don't know what does, because that is just weird and intriguing, and it perfectly sums up the whole idea for this concept. Reading it was so immersive. Like, so the fictional world that this comic takes place in is called Sight and Sound, and I felt like I was in Sight and Sound. I was so immersed in the story that it felt so real. It draws you in, and like Mr. Sheldon, the artist, did just an incredible job. Like, of course, like, part of being immersed in a story when it comes to graphic novels is going to come from the storyline and, you know, the writing, but, like, a huge part of it comes from the artwork. And the artwork is just amazing in this. Like, it's not, you know, like, the most, like, beautiful, like, artwork, you know, I've ever seen in a graphic novel. It's kind of messy, but I like that. You know, I like when things aren't perfect and things are kind of a mess. Not a mess in a bad way, but, like, it captures a world that's just bizarre and shocking and just blah in your face. So the artwork is fantastic, and I feel like it suits this comic so well, and I think it's a good, I don't know, 50% of what makes this so successful as a story and as an experience as a reader. Yeah, it's just so immersive. I don't know, that's the best way I can describe it. It's like one of the most immersive graphic novels that I have ever read. Another thing about this book is it is fucking hilarious. I literally laughed out loud like so many times reading it. Like, it's dark and it's like completely crude and totally irreverent, but it's awesome. And like the characters are so vibrant and real and also crazy. Like, there's a character who is like a horny chicken addicted to cocaine and starts trying to like have sex with inanimate objects. And there's also like a talking pillow and like a skeleton who wears a beaver costume. Like, these are the characters. It's like, you know, it's like, what? But it's executed so well that the characters are so vibrant and they're funny and they have a really great voice, and like the dialogue is hilarious, and like the way that characters interact with each other is real and it's fun. I heard Claudio in an interview say that, like, these characters are based on real life people, like people he knew growing up, and so you really get the sense that they're real. Like, the dynamic between all the characters feels very real, even though it's like a pillow talking to a newspaper and like, you know, crazy batshit crazy stuff like that. It just works in a weird, awesome way. Another thing about this is like the music references. So like, metalheads or anyone who is just, you know, into music in general is gonna appreciate like all the little jokes in this graphic novel, because it's obviously catering to, you know, people like us, you know, freaks who are just into music, and all the children among the fence, you know, all the Coheed fans. Not because it has any specific like Coheed references, but because it just talks about music in general and has a lot of like fun jokes to do with it. And I really just felt like this book was like just the book for me. And like, part of me was sort of like mad reading this because I had a similar idea for like a comic that I've been wanting to do. It has to do with like music subgenres and stuff. A totally different concept and idea, but at the same time, it's similar enough that I'm like, A, why didn't I think of this first? And B, like, my work will never stand up to anything like this. So like, I love experiencing things like that, like as a writer, when you read something that is so good that it's just soul-crushing at the same time, because you're like, I'm never going to stand up to this work, you know what I mean? Now you just kind of like, when you're done with it, you want to throw it against the wall because you're like, it's so good, I'll never get there, and you know, it makes you want to give up. But then you give it like a few days and you let it kind of simmer, and then it becomes like inspiring after that, and you're like, oh yeah, then it inspires you to want to create something, because of the way it made you feel when you're experiencing it. So that's like, I don't know, that's something that I find like, not just like in writing, but just in art in general. When you, music, like, I'm sure musicians could probably relate to that on some degree, or people who create like works of art and stuff like that. Like, when you experience something that is so good that it pisses you off a little bit and demoralizes you until you get to the point where it inspires you. Anyway, I don't know what I'm talking about, but I just am talking about it. Also, it took me way too long to figure out the title of this graphic novel, because the character that is in it is obviously a representation of Claudio. Like, it looks like a little mini version of Claudio, and his name is Kill Audio, and it just did not connect the dots in my head until I watched an interview with Claudio talking about this graphic novel, where then, you know, once it was spoken out loud, it was like Kill Audio and then Claudio. So it's Claudio but Kill Audio. And I just had to like smack myself in the forehead because of like, oh, I'm an idiot. I didn't get it until just now. Anyway, but in that interview that I was talking about that I watched with Claudio, he was saying that the idea for this concept album, sorry. He was saying that the idea for this graphic novel came from when he was getting, you know, these little vinyl figures made, and he was, you know, him and Chondra were looking at mock-ups, and he saw them and he kind of decided that there was more to this little character. There was a story there, and so So that's kind of like the little shortened, origin story of Claudio, in case you were wondering. And by the way, I really, really want this vinyl figure now of Claudio. And I'm not a person who likes to collect figures. Like, I'm not even into Funko Pops or anything like that. My shelf is quite bare of any little peoples. So it's really saying a lot that I really want this figurine. And I'm not going to get it because it's on eBay for like at least $100. So I'm not going to get it, but I think it's saying something that I want it in the first place. Another random thought I just had about this, because this is not a very organized review at all, it's just me talking, sorry. Another cool thing about this book, going back to like references, is there's so many little hidden details like in the artwork that it's like, I want to read it again. Like, I finished reading it, I'm like, okay, I wanted to just open it back up and read it all over again, because there's so many little hidden things. Like, so there's this character called Chooch, I think his name is, if that's how you pronounce it, who is an alcoholic newspaper. Like, he is the newspaper and he's an alcoholic, which is hilarious. But every panel he has a different headline written on him, and it like will relate to whatever that character is feeling or whatever is going on in the story at the time. And I think that's such a great attention to detail, and it's hilarious, some of the headlines that you can make out on there. Also, I found a fun little Easter egg in this comic. I don't know if it counts as an Easter egg, but there's a section where this two-headed siren character, her name is Distress, she is introducing a song that she's going to sing, and it's about an ex of hers, and the song is called Cut the Cord. So, I know this book was written way back in 2010, and, that obviously just released the song called Cut the Cord. And so, is there a relation there? Yeah, probably not. It's probably just a coincidence. But I thought it was funny to kind of see things tie back into each other from, like present stuff to past stuff. And it's kind of like the breakfast burrito coming before the chicken. But, like, I think it's fun to see that there's some kind of inkling for, this current song that they just released way back in, 2010 when they were writing this comic. So, yeah, it may be a stretch, but, like, and it's probably a coincidence, but I thought it was cool to see how, like, creation breeds further inspiration for creation along similar lines, if that makes any sense. So, anyway, so it's just, I don't know, something random, but I was, like, reading it, and I got really excited about the fact that I read those words in there. Sorry about this video being just a total, like, mess organization-wise, and I know I keep talking about random stuff all in different circles. But I just wanted to share with you guys and gush about this thing that I just experienced that I thought was really awesome. And just, side note, like, anyone new watching this video, like, this isn't like a sponsored thing. Like, I'm not getting paid to do this review or anything of the sort. In case you think I'm gushing about it too much and you think it's not genuine. I also understand that this graphic novel is probably not for everybody. It's like, I can see how some people might not like it, because it is very crude at times, and, it's weird, and it's very, kind of has this surrealistic fantasy vibe to it. But, I think that's part of its charm. So, yeah, if you don't like crude jokes, maybe this isn't the book for you. Anyway, I have also read Claudio and Chondra's other graphic novels, and I'm planning to do reviews on those graphic novels. I'm not sure if I'm going to do Translucid or Key of Z next, but when I do upload those reviews, they will be actual, like, organized, coherent reviews, not like this mess that I've just uploaded. But that will be on my sister channel, JJ Kai Morris. That'll be on my writer book and writing channel. Anyway, I will link that at the end of this video whenever I upload that, if you guys want to go check it out on my other channel. Also, if you are one among the fence like I am and you want to support what I do here, please consider hitting subscribe, and then you can get notified when I put out other content such as this. Also, if you want to suggest videos that you want me to do in the future, please join my email list down in the description called my Metalhead Community. From there, you'll get access to a private playlist of bonus videos, and you'll also get to submit video suggestions to my suggestion box from there. And, like, I know in the past I've always, like, encouraged people to suggest videos down in the comments, but now that my channel is kind of growing a little bit more, I kind of need to get more organized. And so I will be prioritizing videos that come in through my suggestion box. But, of course, if you leave stuff in the comments as well, I'll also take that into consideration, of course. Anyway, if you have read Claudio, and you have thoughts on it or you want to talk about it, just please leave that down in the comments and we can chat about it. Because, yeah. If you read it, if you have things you want to share about it, please put that down in the comments. I'm always interested to know what your guys' thoughts are on things that I talk about. And yeah, I also am so stoked for Faxis Part 2. I've got the album pre-ordered, I got my VIP tickets for the tour, and I just cannot wait. So if you also want to talk about how excited you are for the new release and for their headlining tour, also let me know down in the comments, and we can just be excited together and share a lot of, like, happy emojis or something. Anyway, thanks for watching, freaks. Till next time.